To understand MIMO, let's first answer this question, that how do we transmit information across a wireless channel? I think you know the answer. It's pretty simple. We have an antenna at the transmitter, we have an antenna at the receiver, and the information is transmitted from transmitter antenna to receiver antenna. Okay, this is simple. And this is my channel. Okay, so in this case, if we assume or if we take our channel as a digital system, and in this case the transmitted signal is the input, the received signal here is the output, then we can easily see here that for this particular system there is a single input and single output. Okay, and this is our SISO system. Okay, so this is, to put it very simply, this is how a single antenna on both sides, when there is a single antenna on both transmitter and receiver, how that communication system works. Or this is a easiest way to transmit information across a wireless channel using SISO mechanism. Now let's think in terms of the requirements of a communication system. So let's assume that when I am transmitting something and receiving something across a across a communication system, then what are my requirements? My requirements are high throughput or high capacity or high bit error rate. So there are multiple names of this. I tried to mention most of them. And second thing is I want low bit error rate. Okay, so let's first talk about the throughput case or the capacity case. So capacity is given by this formula, bandwidth into log with base 2 1 plus SNR, and this is also known as Shannon's law. Okay, so if our requirement is to maximize the capacity, we have two options: increase the bandwidth or increase the SNR. Okay, so let's first explore the bandwidth case. Bandwidth is something which is not in the designer's hand. Okay, it is something specified by some higher authorities, or let's say it is allocated to a particular vendor that you have been specified only from B1 to B2. Okay, and let's say B2 to B3 is allocated to someone else. Okay, so the point here is that for a communication system, most of the time the bandwidth is limited. Okay, so I cannot play much with the bandwidth to increase my capacity. Fine. Now let's come to the SNR case. We can see that the SNR is inside logarithmic function. Okay, and we know that logarithm is a slow increase. Okay, it is not a very quick increase if we compare it with a linear case. So if linear function varies like this, then logarithmic varies something like this. Okay, so that's why logarithm is a slow increase. So we cannot increase our capacity to a full extent by playing with the SNR. Another problem with increasing SNR, that if we have to increase SNR on the designer side, on the design side, let's say, or on the transmitter side, I have to increase the signal power. Okay, and increasing signal power is not a good thought, because again, if we draw our bands, let's say this is B1 to B2, which is allocated to me, and let's say B0 to B1 is allocated to someone else, B2 to B3 is allocated to someone else. Okay, so if I draw a typical spectrum, it looks something like this. Okay, here we can see that the signal power is also leaking to the adjacent bands. The signal power is leaking to the adjacent bands, and if I increase the signal power more, then the leakage to the adjacent band will also increase, which is not a good way to increase the capacity, because that leakage will cause interference to the adjacent channels. It will cause interference to the adjacent channels. So we cannot play with bandwidth much. We cannot play with SNR much also to increase our capacity. Then how? Now let's consider an example where bandwidth is equals to 20 megahertz and SNR, let's assume 50 dB. Okay, in this case, if we calculate the capacity, it will come out to be something equals to 112 Mbps. Okay, but this 20 megahertz is a pretty common bandwidth for LTE advanced. Okay, and in LTE advanced, we can see capacity or throughput of the order of 500 Mbps. Okay, so there is something which is beyond SISO also. Because of that, our capacity is going beyond this formula. Okay, this actually motivates us to understand what is beyond that. Okay, so now let's think that, or let's assume that instead of having one antenna on both transmitter and receiver, what if we have two antennas on each side? Okay, so in this case, this antenna, transmit antenna 1 will talk to can talk to receive antenna 1, transmit antenna 2 can talk to receive antenna 2. Okay, so in this case, if I write uh, this particular stream's capacity as C1, this particular stream's capacity or throughput as C2, then my total throughput will be C1 plus C2, isn't it? Actually, yes. Actually, yes. So this is basically the concept of MIMO, that by increasing the number of antennas, we are increasing the capacity linearly. Okay. So if I go on to increase more number of antenna on transmitter and similarly more number of antenna on the receiver, let's say if we have n number of antennas on transmitter, similarly n number of antennas on receiver, I can write my Shannon's law like this: n into bandwidth into log 2 1 plus SNR. Okay, and in this case we can easily see that with respect to n, this is a linear increase, which is a faster increase than log increase. Okay, so this is a clear advantage here, which we are getting from MIMO. But why we are saying it as MIMO? Now again, assume my wireless channel as a channel as a system. In this case, I can see, just consider when n is equals to 2, that for this channel there are two inputs from, I'll write it as T1, antenna T2, and similarly there are two outputs, antenna R1, antenna R2, receive antenna R1, receive antenna R2. So here we can see that there are multiple input and multiple output. So this is MIMO. Okay. One important point here, that to explain this, I have assumed, or I had assumed that antenna T1 is only transmitting to antenna R1, antenna T2 is only transmitting to antenna R2. So in reality, this is not the case. There will be crosstalks also. Like T1 signal will reach to R2 also, and T2 signal will reach to R1 also. Okay, but just for the sake of easiness or just for the sake of understanding, I assume that T1 will only talk to R1, T1 will only talk to R1, T2 will only talk to R2. But in reality, there will be crosstalks also. So R1 will receive signal from both T1 and T2. Similarly, R2 will receive from both T1 and T2. Okay, fine. Okay. So another important point to understand here is that, so when we said that T1 should transmit to R1, T2 should transmit to R2, but and there will be crosstalks also. Like T1 signal will reach to R2 and T2 signal will reach to R1 also. So T1 and T2's transmission should be independent. T1 and T2's transmissions should be independent. What do we mean by independent here? We mean by what we mean is that T1 and T2 should transmit exactly different information. They should not transmit the same information from both the antennas. Okay, so both antennas should transmit different information. Let's take an example that at the transmission side we have a sequence of bits to transmit: B0, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and so on. So in SISO case, what was happening, that all the sequence of bits was transmitting from a single antenna one by one. First B0, then B1, then B2, and so on. Now, when we have two transmit antennas on our end, what we can do, that we can allot them alternatively. Like B0 can be transmitted by T1, B1 can be transmitted by T2, similarly B2 by T1, B3 by T2, and so on. Okay, but you might be wondering why, what's the advantage I'm getting. So let's assume that the bit duration in this case is, let's say, 1 microsecond. Okay, then how do we calculate the bit rate? Bit rate is what? To calculate the bit rate, we will calculate like, in 1 microsecond I am transmitting one bit. This is for the SISO case. Let's calculate bitrate first for the SISO case. In 1 microsecond, I am transmitting one bit only, because I am transmitting them one by one. So the bitrate is 1 upon 1 microsecond, which is 1 Mbps. Okay, because this will be 1 upon 10 to the power minus 6, which will be 10 to the power 6 bits per second. Okay, now let's come back for MIMO case. What is happening in MIMO case? That two bits are being transmitted simultaneously here. Okay, two bits are transmitted simultaneously at the same time, or you can assume they are transmitted parallelly. Okay, so that means that in 1 microsecond we can transmit two bits. So if we calculate the bit rate, that will be 2 upon 1 microsecond, or it will be 2 Mbps. Okay, so we can easily see that we have increased our capacity or throughput by a factor of 2 by deploying two transmit antennas and transmitting totally different or independent information from both the antennas. And this mechanism is also known as spatial multiplexing. Now let's understand that how BER improvement happens with MIMO. For that, first let's analyze the case with the SISO case or the SISO mechanism, SISO configuration. Okay, single antenna on TX, single antenna on RX. In this case, there will be only one stream. Okay, and this is a single channel. So let's say we transmitted X, wireless channel is H, reception is Y. So what will we get? Y is equals to HX. I'm not considering AWGN here just for the sake of simplicity. Okay, and because practically this channel will also change with time. So also let's put us index for time also. Okay, again assume that we are transmitting multiple bits B0, B1, B2, B3 and so on. Okay, so if I can write it as H0 B0 plus H1 B1 plus H2 B2 plus and so on. So this will be at different instants of the time. Now assume that because of multipaths and other factors, H2 is in deep fade. H2 is in deep fade. In that case, we will lost B2. We cannot recover H2 B2 and hence B2. This is gone. Let's see how we can improve this with MIMO. Okay, so for MIMO case, we know that we are assuming or we are taking the two antenna case. So at the receiver side, we will actually have two signals to process. Let's name that as Y1. Let's name this one as Y2. Okay, I can write Y1 as assume that the equivalent channel at the face of and receive antenna R1 is H1. I'm also suffixing time index here into X, and at a receive antenna 2, let's say it as H2 X. Now, one important point here is that when our motive is to improve the BER, we have to transmit same information from both transmit antenna. Okay, in previous case, where our goal was to increase the capacity, we said that mandatorily we have to, both the antennas have to transmit different information. But if our goal is to improve the BER or improve the reliability, then both the transmit antennas have to transmit same information. Okay, and this is known as transmit diversity. Okay, now let's come back to our problem. So I can write it as H1N, B0, B1, B2, B3 and so on. Similarly, H2N, B0, B1, B2, B3 and so on. Okay, so Y1 will be H10 B0 plus H10, so H11 B1, H12 B2 plus so on, Y2, H11 H10 B0 plus H11 B1 plus H12 B2 and so on. Now again assume that one of the antenna is in deep fade. Okay, so take that H12 is in deep fade. That means that from Y1 we cannot recover B2. But because those antennas at the transmitter and receiver side, both sides, are placed in a proper design way that their received phase difference will be different. In that case, at the receive antenna phase, the multipath conditions will be different. Okay, so there is a good amount of probability that if H12, okay, I should write here as these will be all H2s. Yeah, so if H12 is in deep fade, then H22 may not be in deep fade. Okay, it could be a good fade, or uh, H22 is all okay to decode B2. Okay, so there is a good amount of probability with which we can decode B2. Okay, so the point here is that in this particular case, for MIMO case, H12 can be in deep fade, but we can recover B2 from Y2 or from receive antenna 2 because their fading profiles are independent. If Y1 Y1 is in deep fade, Y2 may not be in deep fade, and we can recover B2 from Y2. So this way we can decode B2 also, and that will improve my BER. So with this logic, MIMO improves BER. Now an important concept to understand about that when we can perfectly decode a MIMO signal. Okay, so I have taken an example of a 2x2 MIMO system, and in that case, I have denoted the channels from TX antenna 1 to RX antenna 1. Similarly, all four channels. So there will be four channels like T1 to R1, T1 to R2, T2 to R1, and T2 to R2. Okay, so this is H11, this is H21, this is H12, this is H22. Okay, and in matrix notation, we can write this as Y is equals to H multiply X, where this is Y1, Y2, this will be H11, H12, H21, H22, X1, X2. Okay, so simple mathematics here, that how can we recover X1, X1 and X2, because again I am not assuming noise here. So our at the decoder, our motive is to get back X1, X2. How can we recover them? Because uh, decoding a signal perfectly is also an important factor of designing a particular system. If we cannot decode, there is no point in designing a system. So a simple decoding, or mathematically I can think of that I can do x is equals to h inverse y. Okay, so this is simple decoding, also known as zero forcing receiver. Okay, so the question here is that to realize this, h or the channel matrix should be invertible. Okay, channel matrix should be invertible. In other words, I can say that it should be a full rank matrix. It should be a full rank matrix, then it will be invertible. Then I can easily decode my signal. It is a full rank matrix. I can say that its rows and columns should be independent vectors. Okay, so till now we have only seen the linear algebra part of this. But if I translate this language into wireless communication theory, then that means that the channels of a MIMO system should be uncorrelated with each other, or they should be independent. Okay, they should be uncorrelated. So as an example, take that uh, that H is equals to an identity matrix 1 0 0 1. So this is a perfect example where rows and columns are independent and the channels are uncorrelated. Okay, so in this case, obviously this is perfectly invertible and I can get back my X. Now take another example when H is equals to 1 1 1 1. Okay, this is not invertible. Okay, and given a particular row, I can get back another row. Given a particular column, I can get back another column. Or given a particular channel H11 and H12, I have the information of other channels and vice versa. So this way, this means that this particular channel matrix is not uncorrelated, and MIMO decoding is difficult here. Okay, so when designing a MIMO system or when deploying a MIMO system, this factor is also important that the channel coefficients should be uncorrelated to each other. In that case, MIMO system's performance will be best. Post your questions in the comment section. Please like the video if you find it useful and do subscribe the channel for more content.